to go back to my roots because I've done a lot of like astrology, birth chart, like relevant content before. So today I'm going to be highlighting one thing that I love and hate about your sign. So again, be prepared to be clocked. There's no other way to say it, for real. And again, I mean no tea, no shade. I try to be very like fair across the board, because at the end of the day, like zodiac signs are very or just astrology in general is very subjective, and I want it to be as least biased as possible. So, and again, just to another disclaimer, I'm an Aries. Also, I wanted to challenge you, if you are familiar with your birth chart, also kind of like you can identify the different, because obviously we have different signs and different placements. So, you know, tendencies may pop up from this sign in different areas that you may not previously have been like aware of, or just people in your life. So, again, we're going to get right into it. If I reference my little notebook, it's because I just want to stay on point with what I'm talking about. But yeah, so let's start with Aries. Of course, I'm going in zodiac order. If you know, you know. Aries, one thing that I love about us, and again, like I'm an Aries, so one thing I love about us is that we are naturally leaders and we have natural confidence, but the confidence is not giving like arrogant vibes. So I really love that, because I feel like confidence is quiet. Real confidence is quiet. It's like internal, but you know you're that bitch, period. And one thing I hate about us is just how we're perceived, as far as like the strong, since we're perceived so strong to the public, like whether we like it or not. I think that this can be really an issue as you develop throughout life, because I feel like you are in predicaments where people always just assume that you're okay because you're just the type to show up for everybody and, you know, be that like, you know, just emotional support for a lot of folks in our lives, and we kind of lose ourselves within that. So I really hate that we're perceived as this like strong thing persona, because we are really strong, like that's a fact. But at the same time, like we still need spaces to be vulnerable. So that's all I'll say about Aries. Moving on to Taurus. Taurus, one thing I love about them is that they're very grounded and very firm. They are an earth sign, so the energy you're gonna get from them is always very like firm. That's like the best way I can describe Taurus energy. What I really hate about this sign, honestly, and to be fair, like I don't think Aries and Taurus go together. Like I really, with no disrespect, like I said, but I really just be avoiding Taurus at all costs, because I feel like Aries people, we are also very stubborn and like strong-minded and very strong, like hard-headed. But I feel like Taurus is like stubborn and ruthless with their emotions to a fault. Like it's just not like the way they go about their emotions and shit. It's very like chaotic, and yeah, just 0 out of 10 wouldn't recommend. But yeah, to each their own. Geminis, what I love about Geminis is that they are extremely creative naturally. Some of the greatest humans on earth are Geminis, and I feel like they keep shit interesting. I think the world would be an extremely dull, boring place without Geminis. So I do have like a sense of respect for them, just for standing in that and being like the creative beings that they are. I also love that they're what's the word? Conversationalist. So they're like really like you could have a really amazing conversation with Gemini people. Like they are just always so good at conversation. Like, and if you know a Gemini or have a Gemini in your life, like you know this to be true. The only thing I dislike about this sign, honestly, is the wishy-washy tendencies. You really don't know they're very unpredictable. So this can be very frustrating in like different relationships, you know, family, friends, co-workers, whatever. Like it can just make navigating knowing a Gemini very difficult because they're extremely unpredictable. Cancer. one this sign in general, one thing I love about them is how emotionally intelligent they are. So if you are a Cancer, you naturally are the most emotionally intelligent water sign. On the flip side, what I hate about Cancer is how overly like emotionally manipulative they are. Like, they know their emotions so well that they know how to play victim well. They know how to manipulate emotions into their, to either lack accountability or like play the victim very, very good. So that's one thing I don't like about this sign. Leo. One thing I love about Leos, I love their upbeat energy and I love their confidence. They're very confident by nature, but the flip side to this is that I don't like and that I hate about Leos is they tend to come off or be very like, that confidence turns into arrogance, and that arrogance also turns into like being self-absorbed. So like a Leo that's not evolved can come off extremely self-absorbed. So that's something I don't really care for. Virgo. What I love about Virgos, I love that Virgos are dependent, like reliable, and they're extremely detailed and organized. I think that is something that everybody and anybody can learn from Virgo, like just being dependable and being like people that make shit happen, in the sense of like just being extremely detailed and organized with whatever they're doing. So yeah. And then one thing I hate about Virgos, especially just being a person that personally goes with the flow and like is not really like a crazy planner, it really, like, I hate how controlling they can be, like in the capacity of like not allowing things to flow. Like, they're such planners and such people that take pride in that they almost want to control every scenario. So yeah, it's like the controlling tendencies and like not being at peace with the unknown. I feel like any Virgo could really work on that, to be honest. Libras. I love how charming and easygoing they are. So I believe they're just extremely charming. Like, when you meet a Libra, you kind of want to be around their energy. Like, they don't really have any crazy red flags because of how like charming and easygoing they are naturally. However, what I hate about Libras is that they tend to be indecisive and then very wishy-washy energy. Like, they're also very unpredictable. Mind you, this is kind of like a pattern with air signs. And when I talk about air signs, we're talking about Gemini, we're talking about Aquarius, and we're talking about Libra. Just very unpredictable energy with air signs, honestly. Moving on to Scorpio. What I love about Scorpios is how loyal and deeply caring they can be. An evolved Scorpio, like, they just really are extremely loyal and deeply caring. What I hate about Scorpios is their secretive tendencies. It's scary because like you never really know what a Scorpio is really thinking. And if you think that you have a Scorpio figured out, I'm here to tell you, you don't. Like, you don't. Next, Sagittarius. I love how optimistic Sagittarius are and just adventurous. Like, they are just people that are fun to be around, are energetic, that will literally, you'll be in a shitty situation and they'll be the first ones to like remind you that, you know, it's never that serious and that shit is okay and shit is gonna be okay. And you just always could appreciate people being optimistic, especially when you're in a difficult situation. What I hate about Sagittarius, however, is that they can also be extremely ruthless emotionally and harsh words. So again, Aries people kind of get flack for that, for being, because we're very direct and all these different things. But in my opinion, out of all the fire signs, I would say Sagittarius is the most ruthless when it comes to that mouth. And just very like emotionally charged, harsh words. Capricorn. What I love about Capricorn is that they are very disciplined and they are also very reliable. What I hate about Capricorn is the lack of emotional depth. They are very dry. That's the best way I can explain it. They're extremely dry when it comes to emotions. You will never really know what a Capricorn is feeling. They express their love and care in different ways, but you will never really like see them super expressive or super vulnerable. Like they just don't do that. So yeah. Aquarius, what I love about Aquarius, I love that they're original and creative. I hate that they're very detached and they're very much in la la land most of the time. So they're not very grounded. But again, air sign shit. Last but not least, Pisces. I love how compassionate and intuitive they can be. And then I hate that they are escapist and tend to be escapist, and they tend to be incredibly delusional, which again, in the capacity of just not really, it's kind of ironic that they're as intuitive as they are naturally because of the choices that they usually make. They're very, like I said, not grounded and very based in like la la land tendencies, or being like delusional, like not necessarily seeing shit for what it is. So yeah. So those are all of the signs. I hope that this video was educational at some capacity. I'm sorry if I hurt any feelings in advance. You know, I believe that astrology is a beautiful way to kind of get to know yourself as a person. And again, if you don't know like your birth chart, any of that, I have done videos in the past like regarding birth charts if you're interested in learning more. But I will also leave a link down below in the description box so you can navigate and like kind of figure out your birth chart by itself. And I will say the only thing that I recommend is for you to know concrete for sure the time you were born and where you were born, because that really dictates like your birth chart and all the information you're gonna gain. So yeah, I will see y'all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.